Paige Parsons with CBC. Several of the incidents you mentioned, their gun violence, and the public inquiry into the worst mass shooting in Canada's history is calling for stricter gun regulations. Their recommendations touch on cross-border gun smuggling and also restricting high-capacity firearms and ammunition. And would you support the government if they brought in some of the Commission's recommendations?
What we need to do is stop going after hunters and start going after criminals. The shooting that you referred to was done with smuggled guns, not legal firearms. So Justin Trudeau and the crazy coalition with the NDP want to ban hunters. But hunters aren't committing the crime. It's criminals who bring in smuggled guns from across the border. So here's my common sense plan. Instead of spending $5 billion buying back hunting rifles from law-abiding hunters, I'm going to put that money into reinforcing our borders to stop the flow of illegal guns coming from the United States, which are responsible for over 80% of the gun violence that occurs in this country. And I'm going to reinstate mandatory jail time for repeat gun criminals so that we take those criminals off the streets and put them behind bars where they can no longer do harm. And I would point out to the CBC one last thing that's very obvious to everyone but Justin Trudeau and the CBC, and that is banning hunting rifles will not stop knife crimes. I just listed a whole series of crimes that were committed with knives. Banning a rural hunter from carrying out a great Canadian heritage of the outdoors is not going to stop stabbings on the LRT system in Calgary or Toronto. Let's go after the problem and stop with the distractions. I should also point out that the approach just advocated by the CBC to go after hunters has been tried. That's what Trudeau's been doing for 8 years. And what is the result? A 32% increase in violence and crime. It hasn't worked. We need to go after the criminals, not the hunters.